I got them when I was fat, and I get them now after I've lost weight. So what do people say about the way that I look? Hey folks, my name's Allie. Let's get started. So let's get started. People's comments about my weight. Well, let's start about what they used to be like when I was a fat kid or teen or even young adult. And then we'll move into the comments that I get now after I have lost 170 pounds. If you didn't know, I used to weigh a lot and I lost it all using a ketogenic diet. Didn't really have to exercise. I know that I should. I'm going to start soon, but that's a different story. So one of the most salient memories I have as a young kid getting bullied for my weight was, and I mentioned this before in another video, was when I was getting off the school bus at the end of the day. I think it was like a Friday, and it was my birthday weekend. And one of the kids shouted from the school bus window, "Hey, are you a football player?" And like, just as a young girl who just wanted to fit in and be like a normal preteen at the time, I was just so mortified because it offended me down to my core, because I just wanted to be a pretty girl and I wanted to just fit in and just be accepted, and I was already always so self-conscious about my weight. And it really hurt me. It ruined my birthday weekend. I just remember being sad and it was a crappy time, and you know, it's just that kid was mean and they shouldn't have said that. And, you know, I'd heard little snide comments at school from other students or, you know, kids about my weight, and, you know, none of them really stick out, but I do remember that they happened, I guess. But that was like the most important one to me at the time, just because it just really stuck with me all through adulthood. Another embarrassing comment that I heard, it wasn't really directed towards me, but it was about me, was by an ex. We were out double dating with this other couple. They were both very skinny, and I was with my ex, and for some reason the topic came up, and he mentioned that, you know, meat's for the man, bones are for the dogs. And I just wanted to be there and like just hide my face because I was so mortified, because, you know, he was trying to be nice. But, you know, the girl across from me was very healthily skinny. She was very slender. And not only was he insulting her, but in a way he was insulting me by just bringing up the fact that I was heavy. So I wanted to just kind of crawl in a corner and die. And it came from a good place. He didn't mean it in a mean way, but it was still just something that has stuck with me because it just embarrassed me. I did get a couple comments. One time, I think we were waiting in line at KFC, of course, back when I was fat. We were waiting in line. It was like late at night at KFC. I got asked if I was expecting. And then another time, it happened again several years later. And this was probably back in like 2014, maybe 2013. I was out, and it was like a Christmas party at this pub, and somebody came up to me and put their hand on my belly and said, "Oh, when are you due?" Oh, it hurts just to say it because it's so embarrassing. But, you know, looking back at pictures that I have of that time when I was at my heaviest about, I did look pregnant, so I understand why he thought I was. And I replied to him, I said, "Ooh, faux pas." Because that was the only thing that I could say. I didn't want to be like, "How dare you?" I didn't want to be like, "Are you stupid?" I don't know, like that just came out of my mouth. Ooh, faux pas. And then right around that same incident, there was this kind of like homeopathic guy who hung out with us a bunch. And he started talking about how he could help me with weight loss for just like a small fee kind of thing, like, you know. And I was just like, "No thanks, like I'm not paying you to help me lose weight homeopathically." I don't know, it was weird. But again, it embarrassed me because he brought up the fact that I was overweight and that it was an issue in public around other people. And I was just like, mind your own business, you know, like I didn't say that, but I wanted to. I just wanted to be like, "Leave me alone, you're embarrassing me." And so like a lot of people who are overweight have that issue. It's like, don't even talk about weight around me because it's such a touchy subject. And I think that that's such an issue. And if you want to hear more about this, I have ideas about it. Leave me a comment down below if you'd like to hear about weight in our culture. But I think it's such an issue because in our culture, we associate, being heavy with these stereotypes that you are lazier, that you're unmotivated, that you're not worthy of things. And then we associate skinnier body types as being more athletic and more go-getting and more determined and just more motivated and things like that. And I'm not saying that that's true, but there are stereotypes, and in our culture, we believe them. And so that's why it's kind of embarrassing when people point out the fact that you're fat, because they're not just saying that you're fat and that you're overweight. They are attacking you, and they're bringing up these thoughts that you're not as good, or that you're not as motivated or as good of a person as other people who are skinnier. So those are just some of the comments I received about my weight when I was overweight and obese. But let's move on to our skinny comments. Now these ones, some of them came out of a good place and some of them came out of malice, and we'll look at those. So I mentioned this in a recent video, but my grandma thinks I'm too skinny. And so the first time we all went out to eat and I was getting like a salad or something, she was like, don't you lose any more weight. You're too skinny. You need to put on weight. And it came out of a good place because she had never seen me at this body size. She had always known me as a fatter person with a much larger body. And so I'm thinking that she just didn't recognize who I was. Maybe it was just a shock to her. But she said it in a loving way, so I can't be mad at her for that. But I do get it a little bit from her from time to time. The rest of the people in my life that I see all the time, family, friends, coworkers, they know about my videos and who I used to be and what my goals are and why I'm here at this weight that I am. So most of the people in my life know my little backstory. But for the most part, from people that I know, I don't really get comments about my weight. Another comment that I've gotten about 5 or 6 times in like the last 2 years is whether I'm a runner. And that's because I have fat person calves, okay? When you're fat, you've got to carry lots of weight around. So I carried that weight around all my life. And then when I lost the weight, I still had big calves because they are just strong and they are very muscular. And so I get asked all the time, are you a runner? Do you play soccer? I'm like, no. The first time it happened, I was like, no, why? Am I skinny? And they're like, no, your legs, you got big calves. I was like, oh, thanks. And then so like after the second time, somebody asked me if I did like a running sport. I figured that they were just looking at my legs, and that makes me self-conscious because, my image of beauty is to be like this waif, like this very feminine, wispy body type. Like that's what I've always wanted to be ever since I was a fat kid. And so when they bring up my muscular legs, I'm just like, well, thanks. Basically, you're telling me I got man legs. I don't want man legs. I want like pretty, beautiful, thin legs, but whatever. Hopefully the calves will die down as I keep going on as a thinner person, because I won't be using that muscle as much to carry so much weight. That's my dream. That's what I hope. But in the meantime, I'm just going to have to deal with these calves that do not like to be squished into skinny jeans. You guys know I'm a teacher, and so I deal with young people, and so we all know that young people don't have the best self-control, so of course they might say things that they don't mean. So I did get a comment one time that I was a twig, which actually I kind of took it to heart, because I was like, oh, you can't call me fat. You can't give me all of these, you can't push all of these bad stereotypes onto me because I don't look like that. I don't have that fat on me anymore. And so I was just like, oh, you're saying I'm skinny, because that's what I've always wanted to be. So it didn't really affect me, and I just kind of like laughed internally when he said it. So that was another comment about how I was too skinny. About a year ago, I went shopping and I was trying on clothes, and to get like a better view, I went out where they have like the bigger, like 3 panel mirrors. And so I was out there like looking at myself in the mirror, trying to see if I wanted these clothes. And then the sales lady walked in and she said, oh, I wish I had your metabolism. I just wanted to be like, well, you see, the thing is, I used to be really, really obese, and I used to weigh more than double what I do now, but it's because I watch what I eat. I wanted to just kind of go through and explain to her that it's not just me. I'm not born this way. Like, I really work at this. Like, I struggle with food addiction all the time, and I deny things that I really want, like ice cream and cake. Well, I don't want cake that much, but like peanut butter, I would love. Cheesecake, I could eat that all day kind of thing. So it's not that her words offended me. I just wanted to explain to her, because what I get from lots of people whenever I hear people complain that they're not skinny, or I hear people complain that they don't have that great metabolism that thinner people do. I just want to be like, it's not real. You know, I know social media tells you that all these beautiful people go out and they eat ice cream with their friends and they drink all these lattes all day that are 500 calories, but it's not real. Okay, if you did that then and you're trying to maintain weight, you would have to cut throughout the rest of the week. You know, if you show on social media that you're going out for this big dinner and you've eaten all this food, I assure you they either didn't eat all that food or they like saved up calories for the week prior, or they will cut the week after. So it's no magic metabolism. If you overeat, you'll gain weight. That's what I wanted to explain to her. I didn't have, you know, the courage to do that. But just for others out there, if you think that it's all about metabolism, it's really not. From what I've read, there's not very much variation in metabolism for most people. So really just, you gotta watch what you eat and eat the good stuff and leave out the junk food. And another comment that I get from some of my lovely YouTube viewers is that I look anorexic. Personally, I don't think I do. What I do think is that our image of what is a normal weight in American culture has been skewed because we have, you know, I've always heard since I was a kid that America's obesity rate has been a problem. So we are getting used to what heavier people look like. And so when I'm sitting here at 150, even when I go up to 160, like I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between those two. Anyway, so even when I'm sitting between 150 and 160, I'm still in a really healthy BMI. I'm like right in the middle of BMI. So I'm not anorexic. You know, if I were below like 132, I think I would be anorexic technically. But I mean, I feel healthy, I feel good, and so I get that a lot. But I think that that is stemming from what we are used to looking at day to day. I've had people tell me that they are obese, and when I look at them, I would not say that they are obese, but I think as a culture, we just don't recognize it because obesity is around us a lot more than in other cultures and also a lot more than in other time periods. So my message to you is if you have received comments about your weight that have offended you or made you feel bad about yourself, I just want to tell you, ignore the haters, okay? People say mean things to get at you because there's something wrong with them. And always try and recognize if it's coming from actual malice or if people are just trying to be nice, like my grandma. If you had that experience like I did, where you were losing weight and people were telling you that you needed to stop or that you're too skinny, just try and remember that they just may not be used to this new you. I doubt it's coming from malice, but if they are jealous that you're losing weight, ignore them. And if it's not coming from malice, if they're trying to just look out for you, you know, but you know that you're healthy and you're doing your thing and you're feeling great, then just do that and ignore them as well. So I think we just need to remember in society that we just need to be good human beings to each other. Just be nice, say nice things, you know, instead of commenting maybe on somebody's weight, just say, oh, you look nice today. So simple. It can be genuine, okay? Maybe you really like the necklace that they got. Oh, I love your necklace. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love your shirt. Oh, that's great. Okay, we don't have to bring up weight every time we talk to people because it is a touchy subject, like I said, because we have all of these other things intermingled with weight when it comes to how we perceive people and their abilities and their personalities. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below. And also, what is a comment that you have received about your weight that kind of irked you or just made you angry? Let me know down below because I definitely can relate to that. And I'd actually really like to hear about some of these stories that you guys have. All right, folks, that's going to be about it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to see all my new content. If you want to find me on Pinterest, you can find me at Allie McWowie. I also have an Instagram where I post things about what I'm eating or what's just going on in my life, and it's at keto_Allie. I also have a blog and a Facebook as well. All right, you guys, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!